today I'm doing an unboxing of my first order from Proven Winners Direct. So Proven Winners Direct is an online website of Proven Winners plants that you can order and have them shipped directly to your house. Now, the reason I like to use a situation like this is because I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I watch people like Laura on Garden Answer. I watch several YouTubers who have access to a wide variety of Proven Winners Direct blooms, and they're not plants that I have in my area, but I want them. But my nurseries don't carry them. And so when I go someplace like Proven Winners Direct, I go on there to look for plants that I cannot find locally. There goes the FedEx guy. It's because he just dropped off my plants. So I find plants that I cannot find locally. So these are specialty plants that I order because I would really like them, and I'd like to try out this particular variety. So this is how the box arrived. It came within a few days of my order. It looks like it has vent openings all the way around to allow the plants to have nice breathing. And I will say that the cardboard is really strong, so that makes me feel good that most likely the plants are pretty well protected. Let's see. Is there anything better than getting plants in the mail? I love getting mail and packages anyway, but plants just kind of take it to a whole nother level. So, okay. In here I have 4 plants. Oh, yay. Okay. All right, let's open them up, pull them up one by one. Here's the first one. Oh, it looks like I got to pull this tab right here. The tab looks like it got pushed in to hold the plant in place. Okay, so my first plant is one of the new varieties of Coleus, and it is a Color Blaze Albrito Coleus. So it is in the Proven Winners pot, and it does have the tag with all the information about it, and then you can see, it looks awesome. You can see some of the older leaves have the brighter tone coming up on them. So I'm very excited about this. I've been wanting to grow Coleus, specifically their Color Blaze series. So let me check the next one. Gotta pull this little tab over here. Looks like four plants per container. Okay, so let's pull out. And it has this kind of nice like plastic around it, except it's all perforated so the plant can breathe. So here's my next Color Blaze Albrito Coleus. Looks really good. The soil isn't super wet, but it's not super dry. So it's just a touch moist, which is great. Good sized plants. Okay, next on this side. Pull out a little towel so I can get it out. Okay. All right. Another Color Blaze Coleus, and this one is called Sedona Sunset Coleus. And I love Coleus for cut flowers. A lot of people don't realize that you can utilize Coleus for cut flowers. If you cut your Coleus first thing in the morning and then bring it in and let it condition in water, so let it hang out in water for 24 hours, let the stems soak up the water, it does great as a cut flower. And then my final one is an additional Sedona Sunset Color Blaze Coleus. So super excited. These actually have a lot more growth than I thought I was going to be getting. I thought they were going to be smaller, truthfully, when they got here. But these have a lot of really good growth, and I think as soon as I get them into the ground, these will do really well. Now, anytime you have plants shipped in, anytime, you need to take them out, evaluate them, and then you need to water them, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put these, I'm gonna just take a seed tray, fill it with water. I'm gonna put all 4 of these plants in it and allow the roots to soak up water for about 24 hours, and then I am hoping to plant these tomorrow. I am not gonna plant these immediately, like in my landscape, like from a box directly into my landscape. I'm gonna give them a little bit of 24 hours to get used to things, being out of the box, get them well saturated, well hydrated, and then I'm gonna plant them out into my landscape. So I've got my packing list here as well. got all my information on there. So I'm really excited to grow this particular kind of Coleus. I chose both of these for their bright kind of autumn tones, which I thought would look really great in my garden. And then when these are full of life, like later on this summer, is getting closer to when I'm going to be doing a lot of fall arrangements. So I think these will look really good, a nice warm aspect. I have a lot of pink and purple in my garden, but adding in an aspect like this is going to add a little bit more contrast to my garden, a little bit more interest. I am planning on planting these in my front garden. I'm not going to plant them right this moment because I'm on my way to my son's elementary school carnival. But I wanted to go ahead and do this unboxing as soon as I got it. You definitely, anytime you receive plants in a box, don't let them sit for multiple days in the box. Open up the box as soon as you get it, pull the plants out, and allow them to start getting air and getting used to that area. So I'm super excited to get started on these Proven Winners Coleus for Proven Winners Direct. And so I'm going to drop the link below to provenwinnersdirect.com and to these two particular varieties so you can check them out and see if you're interested. You can get on a bunch of their pre-order their pre-order lists where you can go ahead and pre-select your blooms, and then as soon as they're ready to go, they'll ship them out immediately. So my next shipment is actually coming in May of the varieties that I've wanted, but they're not going to be ready for shipping until the first week in May. But I'll be excited for that next unboxing. So let's get these planted in the landscape. Okay, so I've got my plants in the shade. You don't want to drop them in direct sunlight after coming through shipping. And I've got them in a tray so that they can slowly slurp up the water. Excuse me, Buffy. So they can slowly slurp up the water. And then I will check back on these later this evening to see how much of the water they took in. It's filled about a 1/4 inch from the top. Okay, so it's been a hot minute since those Proven Winners Coleus showed up. I intended to get them planted prior to my surgery and it just didn't happen. And then my recovery's been pretty slow, but I'm feeling great today. So I'm gonna get the Proven Winners Coleus planted up along with some other Coleus, and I'll be working right here in this front portion of the garden. We recently cut down the crepe myrtle that was back here, but this still gets a fair amount of sun and shade and mix of the two. So I think this will be a really good spot to get that planted up on. I'm gonna be having my husband help me out because I can't lift anything heavy, and so he's gonna be moving the big pots and dumping the bags of soil for me so I can spread them out. But let me show you guys the space and what I'm gonna do. Okay, so this is the space. It looks like a hot mess. I'll totally give you guys that. So back here are limelight hydrangeas. There's also a couple of mums tucked in this area. There's some sedum, obviously tons of daffodils across here. Now, this last year, we actually ended up having a leak, and you can see where we've done the repair. We actually had a leak in the drip line. It was buried down deep. We couldn't figure out what's going on, and it had flooded this whole area. So I actually lost a lot of plants that were right there. So what I'm gonna be doing today is I'm gonna be cutting back all of the daffodils to about 4 to 6 inches, removing this pot. I'm gonna spread compost throughout the whole space, and then I'm gonna plant it up with just a massive bed of Coleus. It's gonna be a mix of colors. The Proven Winners Coleus, when you see the comparison between the Proven Winners Coleus and the Coleus that I got at a local nursery, you're just gonna die when you see them. It's just hands down a huge difference. But anyway, let's get started on that. Okay, let's just take a minute to talk about Coleus. So typically Coleus is more of a shade to part shade plant. If you plant it in the sun, you have to make sure it is very watered, and that's just for a general Coleus. These Coleus right here I got from a local nursery. You can see I'm pinching the bloom at the top right now. I don't want these to bloom. As soon as they bloom, they'll start growing. So I'll follow a bloom down its main branch and I'll pinch it off, and now these two branches will concentrate. Once your Coleus starts to put on flowers, it's gonna stop focusing on the foliage, and I grow Coleus for foliage, right? These are really pretty. They look great. Very happy with the selection, but can we just take a minute? This is the Color Blaze El Brighto Coleus. Y'all, look at the depth of that color. It has pink, it has red, it has burgundy, it has yellows. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, I'm just over the moon. Don't get me wrong, these are all really pretty. You know, here's a red, but the comparison, y'all, I mean, it's just, I'm over the moon. And since, you know, the beginning of this video, it's been a couple of weeks, these have doubled, if not tripled in size. And all they've been is, they've just been in my greenhouse chilling. I'm just in love. Okay, so I've got the El Brighto, and then I've also got this one, which is called the Sedona Sunset. And it has copper and orange and a little bit of like pink red veining and just a touch of yellow on the sides. But then also look at the back of these leaves. Aren't those gorgeous? Yeah, I'm really excited. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be planting these in the space. I'm going to plant the proven winners towards the back because they get much higher, 24 to 40 inches tall. These that I got from my local nursery, these will get about 12 to 15 inches tall tops. So these are going to take up the back portion, and then the smaller ones are going to be towards the front. I'm going to kind of group the proven winners kind of together by color, and then I'm going to spread out going more red and then more green as we go forward. So almost like an ombre type effect up in that space. The kind of reds, burgundies, pinks towards the back, fading down to the almost greens and into yellowish greens in the front. And I think filling that space will be really nice. And I think it'll be really cool to compare what the proven winners Coleus looks like compared to something I purchased at the local nursery. See how they both do in the same setting, but already you can just see a massive difference. So I'm just in love with this color. But okay, I'm going to fertilize each of them as I'm putting in with some plant tone, or actually a garden tone, because that's what I have on hand right now. So let's get that taken care of. Okay. I think it looks really, really good. I'm happy with the approach of the way I did the color, because with the limelight hydrangeas back here, it's a lot of green. So I'm really glad that I brought in the red and the rust and the pinks to divide that up, and then did more of the bright greens towards the front. I also like how they're more color blocked and they fade, almost in an ombre style. These should all grow up really, really great and cover almost all the soil. We won't be able to see much of the soil at all. I'm really excited to see how this all turns out. I love Coleus. I utilize it for cut flower arrangements all of the time, y'all. So if you haven't tried that, you should. You have to condition your Coleus. So you want to cut it first thing in the morning, put it in a bucket of fresh water inside, and allow it to soak for a full 24 hours before you start designing with it. It will wilt if you don't follow that procedure. That ends up working really well. Okay, so it'll be really great to see the Albrighto and the Sedona Sunset from Proven Winners in comparison to the Coleus that I got from the nursery. So it will be great to have them right beside one another, see how they do. Sometimes I get mealy bugs on my Coleus, so we'll see how that goes too in the garden. Now, while I have you guys here, I've got this negative space right here that I should plant, and they had delphinium here last year. And then I've got a space right in there. I'm kind of thinking maybe some type of salvia, maybe a bright purple salvia. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think right here as well? I would love something a little bit taller with some height. All right, y'all drop me a comment. Y'all always have really great ideas. Drop me a comment and let me know what you think would be great. This area gets morning sun, afternoon shade. So I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think we should put right there. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video exploring Proven Winners Coleus in Albrighto and Sunset Sedona, and then comparing it to the Coleus that I picked at the local nursery. So it'll be really fun to see that experiment, see how it goes. So far I'm in love with the Proven Winners colors. They're just far more vibrant than the rest of the Coleus. They have a wider variety of color within each of the leaves. So that's the biggest difference so far. They're obviously larger too at this point, but it'll be really good. They're all in the same area. They're gonna get the same water. They're gonna get the same light. They all have the same fertilizer. So this will be really fun to show you guys as the season goes on. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.